Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's up? You caught me, Echo the Savage.
Hello.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Thank you so much for joining us. Super happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about, like where you're from, what you do, give us that like Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Okay, well, I started when I was a kid. I was like 12, and I started screaming in a death metal band, and, that's like how it started, right?
Hell yeah.
Then, as I grew up, the music interest didn't end up going away. I grew up with the piano in the house and like guitar in the house and minimal lessons, but it was there, and I was bored, and we ran out of VHS tapes to watch.
Yep.
My mom bought me this keyboard from Costco. It was like $80, and you could like track 6 tracks on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that was the,
that was the start.
We were off to the races at that point, because I could like take one track and like keyboard some drums.
Yep.
And then I'd try to compose some shit over that, plug the guitar in. Yeah, I don't know. I was on some...
You were learning multi-track recording at a young age.
Yeah. So I always had an affinity for music growing up, like heavy music. Like, I loved Korn, man. I loved Korn. As a kid, they'd be watching like NSYNC and like Destiny's Child on TRL. I was waiting for that Korn music video to hit. I was waiting for that shit to smack, and my fucking 7-year-old ass or my 8-year-old ass was gonna be like, yeah, Korn time, dude. But yeah, I loved Korn. Like, I loved all this new metal shit.
Was that your version of Veggie Tales?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, that was
Veggie Tales was that happened too.
Get it? Because Korn.
Oh yeah, that's my Veggie Tale,
Jimmy's
bro.
dumb joke of the week.
I love that. But yeah, I guess from there it's just like didn't want to do other stuff, like. I don't know. I had this weird job where I was like selling door to door, making pretty good money as a kid, and I was just having this apartment. There was partying all the time around me, all the time. But I just wasn't down to fuck with the parties, and I was just like getting super weird into my music and like really not letting that shit go. Like really having like, okay, we gotta get a rehearsal space. I'm still doing this. So I guess you could say the one benefit was that at an early age I had kind of known what I was supposed to do. Ever since I was a kid, I was like, I liked Linkin Park and, shit like that, and Blink-182. When I was a kid, like that's, the people that I looked up to. I didn't really grow up with a father figure going around, so I looked to rock stars. If we're getting deep, like that's kind of where I guess that came from, because in a lot of ways, when you're a kid and you're trying to figure out what kind of man you're going to be, you're like, what kind of man is cool?
Yeah.
Well, that music video was tight, and that guy looks cool, and he's singing really good. So let's, as a kid, you model yourself after these people that you think got it figured out.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you're growing up, and you're like, damn.
They didn't have it figured out.
Yeah, neither do I. You're fucked. No, but it's been cool. My process and discovery of like what I was actually capable of, didn't quite happen until I started going to school at PSU for like sound design and sound production. Okay. Started going every Saturday for like a while. It was like a 3-year program, and then I took a year off. But then I went and I finished that shit, and then I felt like I had enough certification to really go for it. So around 24, I started a recording studio out of my basement, and I sucked at my job. And I sucked at my job for like 3 years, and I sucked at my other job. And I was dating a girl who was super talented at the time and also very beautiful, and she was killing it in the game. So I was managing her shit, and then not doing my shit and helping as much as I could. But I didn't really find my way until after, years of like roadie work and just random shit that I had been doing, a jack of all trades type of guy. But I didn't really find my way till I opened up a recording studio for real this time. Yeah. Operated that for about 3 years, and then that shit got swept away. I survived COVID, most of it, but then gentrification sets in and they knock over buildings and shit, and they, build new ones on top of the rubble. So that unfortunately happened to the space that my studio was built. So had to regroup, was bouncing around from studio to studio, trying to make sure I can get my work done and shit in a balanced room where I can mix some shit, which is, believe me, harder than it sounds. You think people have that shit figured out, but it's actually a thing, right? Yeah. So I had to get that shit figured out on my own and do that. And what I've learned was a very hilarious lesson, which is that, it was cool to have the studio, but to just be able to do all that shit at my house and be able to take all that expensive commercial equipment and find a way to properly still use it with the, dimensions of space that I have access to, thinking in terms of mixing a song and reverb and, control, the environment. So, I mean, fortunately, doing photos and stuff too, we were able to kind of get a bigger room to do that and control the lighting, have a little bit more distance. And so that's been pretty cool to fuck with, but that's my main journey now, because I'm at this point where after sucking at a lot of different things, you start to figure some shit out and you kind of start to make things actually happen. So, I've been at a point where I've been developing some of my favorite songs that I've ever made. And, I'm really kind of just super passionate about that one thing right now in my life. That's that's the one thing I'm holding on to right now.
I can definitely tell.
Yeah.
It's a fun fact. That was still question 1.
But I told you to reel me in, goddamn.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. I wanted to let you run. That's a solid answer. I feel like we've gotten to know you a fair amount. We still have some foundation questions to get through, and then we're going to get into it a little bit deeper. So I just want to save some of it for when we get to that portion.
Totally.
So getting back to the foundation questions, and some of these they're a little, you already answered. Do you play any instruments? When did you get into music? Things like that. So the next one we have coming up is actually it's one we ask early, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Limp Bizkit. It was a Limp Bizkit record, and I'll tell you why. I was 7 years old, okay?
I don't think 7-year-old you has to justify why you bought a Limp Bizkit album.
Well, let me just tell you, okay? I was staying at my uncle's house, and he was a high school kid at that time. He liked that shit a lot. I was staying with my grandma, and my uncle was like, in high school listening to Limp Bizkit. I was like fucking 8 years old with Pokemon cards in my back pocket, right? Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. This is how we discovered this shit. Because I stepped on his CD and somehow scratched it, and then I had to use my own money to buy him a new Limp Bizkit CD. So technically speaking, that's the answer I have to give you.
Well, what was the first album you bought with your own money?
Oh shit, dude. For real? Damn. Well, okay, if I really thought about this, I don't know, but I feel like it was Veil of my Common Man's Collapse. Okay. And I bought it from Hot Topic, and I was 16.
Yeah, that is where one would have got it from.
Yeah.
But that's solid choice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that one. And then, man, dude, I'd go there all the time, though. I didn't always have the money to leave with anything, but I feel like there might have been one before that. I'm trying to just think.
I mean,
that's as far back as my own making of a choice of what to listen to. Yeah, dude, Veil and Maya back in the day.
That's all right. The fun fact, the first album I ever bought with my own money, and this definitely isn't news to the show, but it was definitely the Carter.
Oh, by Lil Wayne?
Yeah. Like the original one. Yep.
Cool, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could still do the entire opening song.
Bro, you know what it was? Okay, this is going to trip you out, but it was Miasma by Black Dahlia Murder, and I got it from Target.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it was super weird. Yeah, it was super. I was there, and
and you just saw it, and you were like, "That shouldn't be here."
No, for some reason, like my stepdad at the time, or not my stepdad, but just the fucking guy my mom was dating, some piece of shit. Anyways, he was being an asshole, and he felt bad about the fact that he was an asshole, and he was like, "Dude, I'll buy you a CD right now. I'm sorry." I was like, "Okay, I can pick anything I want." Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay." What's the most brutal, crazy shit I can find?
What's the one that'll get him in trouble the most?
I actually now, dude, this is fucking sparking a lot of memories, because I remember that's where I was buying CDs as a kid. You sparked a new memory. I was buying CDs as a kid, and I liked Unearth. You remember that band?
Yep. Hell yeah.
Atreyu and shit like that. Well, I think they're still doing shit. Now the drummer's the singer. It's all really weird. I don't know. But I liked that band a lot when I was a kid. I try to put them on these days. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I met them once.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I forget what show it was at, but they were like headlining something, and we got in.
Bro, we would cover their songs as a kids. Like when I was first trying to learn how to scream, I would be screaming Alex's vocals and shit.
I mean, they were definitely a little easier than some.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of weird shit back then too. Remember the Blood Brothers and like Number 12 Looks Like You, all that weird shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That band was fucking cray. Yeah, they did some wild shit. Or War from a Harlot's Mouth.
Oh, dude. You're the first person to name drop War from a Harlot's Mouth.
Dog, I was super into
I've talked to.
Ion Dissonance and Despised Icon. I had a fucking death metal streak, son. I was a fucking Job for a Cowboy, all that heavy shit. First band that I saw in the Philippines, actually, and this really sparked my career. There were 2 bands on this act, and I was in the Philippines. I just found my way to some fucking bar. I'm 14, but they let me in because I'm like a foot taller than everybody fucking there. I walk in, Alisana, bro.
No way.
Yeah, there's like 9 motherfuckers on stage. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then what I saw after that? I think honestly the heaviest band, and I don't say this like, bullshitting, because there's a lot of heavy shit out there, but fucking, dude, this fucking band, what are they called? Dude, why am I blanking right now? No, I remember what it's called. Beneath the Massacre, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, this dude was a fucking animal up there. Fucking,
oh, yeah.
Fucking, and he's huge and scary, too.
Yep.
So it was just like, damn. And I saw that, and I was like, okay, well, there was this band with a bunch, like 9 scene kids on stage. And then these band with these dudes, but this guy, fucking going ham, son. And the guitar player, like Rings of Saturn, pre-Rings of Saturn type shit. Like, and then keeping it super death metal, like it was really more along the lines of like, just fucking wrath for the entire track, like a Black Dahlia Murder song. No breakdown, but they did get heavy as fuck. Anyway, so those are my core moments, core memories, besides seeing my brother-in-law play for like some Christian band called Brightwood, and remember the Meow Meow? The Meow Meow, Loveland, I don't know, was it 45 East? Is that what it is now?
I don't.
Downtown Portland.
Oh, sorry, no.
It's a venue, yeah.
I'm not familiar with the.
It's been around. It's had a lot of name changes. These days, it's an EDM venue. Put fucking 6 shows there. But yeah, back in the day, dude, like I performed there as a kid. Super crazy to think about. I was in there just like chilling at some dubstep show. I saw Midnight Tyrannosaurus, which is fucking wild.
Oh, damn.
Dude, it was lit, man. Lit. Dude, they had that place fucking...
Midnight Tyrannosaurus, if you ever want to be on the show.
Bro, the lights in there was fucking crazy. And the light show, holy fuck, dude. That shit is wild. And I've been thinking a lot more about that experience too lately, because incorporating that into my music, doing a lot more dubstep and like hyper pop and a lot of, just weird shit, but mixed into my metal music and kind of on a pop pizza, if you will, We make sure it's arranged properly, and then we throw all sorts of weird toppings on there, like sizzle pie. Yeah. Shout out sizzle pie. And it's somehow it's still delicious.
This is a mod household.
I fuck with mod too, bro. Believe me. I've eaten those cauliflower pizzas. It's guilt-free, and I get full as fuck. I just put everything on there. I'm an anchovies dude. That's the weird thing. Yeah, I like the anchovies. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love them.
Guys, this interview's over. Thank you for coming. No, I'm kidding.
You thought pineapples is a problem, man? I'm Filipino. We like more. The more funky it is, we're probably gonna like it. That's just how we are.
Valid.
But look, you know what that shit is? Yeah, we go hard.
Yep.
I'm about to go back. I'm about to leave in about 8 weeks and go to the Philippines.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But that's gonna be crazy too. Yeah. My homeboy just got back. Actually, just inherited a bunch of land in Cebu. And I had godparents out there that are, got a resort situation that they're building out there too. So about to check some shit out. Grandma's turning 90 years old.
Oh, hell yeah.
Happy catch birthday, that. Grandma. But I hang back for 2 months, and I'm going to float from Cebu to this different port, which is, I guess it is the music capital of the Philippines, and they're like competitively fucking good out there. I don't know if you know this.
I'm very aware.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I'm going to go stand next to a bunch of legends and then hopefully, be able to get some stage time out there with some of those cats. I got some other stuff lined up, but it's in Manila, but I want to use some shit and go deep.
Hell yeah.
So they even speak a different language than the dialect that my family speaks down there. It's called Cebuano. I speak Tagalog, or I don't, but my family does. I understand a little bit. Yeah. Learning a lot more, but yeah, going down there, I'm going to have to know a whole different set of phrases. It's gonna be fucking crazy. I'm gonna have, and then I'll have like the Philippines made up of so many different dialects that they're not gonna have that shit on the iPhone. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. One of those weird countries where there's literally so many different developments of culture and language in one concentrated area because of water separating a lot of the islands. It's pretty interesting shit, honestly. It's wild to think about.
Yeah.
I'm going back there. Haven't been back there since I was about 14. So it's going to be,
That's exciting.
Crazy.
Hell yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Homeboy got his shit jacked in Vietnam too. So, I'm going to be clutching my stuff, get that shit real tight on me. Yeah, don't be trying to take my stuff. The ones that go
here and under the shirt.
Nobody's safe, dog. It's for real out there. I don't know. I'm like really debating. Do we even want to bring expensive shit? I don't know if I want to do shit. I don't know if I want to bring anything. I might just figure it out there. But
keep in mind, stuff's really expensive out there.
Yeah, that's true too.
Just a heads up.
In the Philippines, yeah. Well, I remember being in the stores and stuff, and electronics is something that since they do a lot of the manufacturing of that electronics, I got some, they have some cool shit at the mall. Let's just say that. They were selling modded Game Boys at the mall, bro, and cartridges.
Oh, shit.
That had tons of games. It was super tight. It was so tight. And I was buying that shit. Yeah. Oh, their malls in the Philippines were definitely an interesting thing. What I can remember was the most interesting thing was they had the security guard in front of McDonald's. I was like, what the hell is that guy doing there? Why does he have a shot? Why does he got a shotgun?
Yeah, damn.
But yeah, core memories, I guess.
Tough gig being a security guard for a McDonald's.
Well, he was just shooing people away.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to watch. When you go to a third world country as a kid and you go there and you're like, whoa, this is what the rest of the world's like?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have it so bad. I should stop being a depressed pussy and just try to be happy because these people are starving and, it could be a lot worse. It's crazy. But, not to say that there isn't a lot of really cool shit there. There's some amazing places that you can go there that are breathtaking.
Yeah.
The food, the culture, the people are all wonderful and beautiful. The economic situation varies, and they get hit a lot with natural disasters, and that's sad. So
it
seems to always be in a state of disrepair and recovery. But great people, and I'm excited to go back. So
hell yeah. Well, you'll definitely have to come back on here after that and tell us about it.
Yeah, because I'm probably wrong about everything. I think going there is going to teach me that.
I mean, I'm sure you'll have a.
But I just, from what I remember, and this is from the 14-year-old's perspective. Now I'm going back there as a 32-year-old. And I'm like, okay, we'll see what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a much different experience, I think, this time around.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and we're going to dive on into some questions that are more focused on you as the artist.
Okay.
And we're going to get the super easy one out of the way. How did you pick your name?
My culture, we are often looked at as savages, and I'm actually also half Irish, and it's not that much of a different story on that side. So, savage seemed natural. I came up and got some new teeth. I ain't gonna front. My old ones looked savage. I looked like fucking Beast from X-Men, And the thing is I was straight, savage out here. So it just seemed right. And echoing the savage is I want you to echo the words that I'm saying. So echo the savage. I'm really just saying, say what I'm saying, because I'm speaking mantras a lot of times on my shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you can say certain phrases to yourself to motivate yourself or, pull yourself out of a negative way of thinking, or sometimes even just trying to feel your feelings and allowing that process to happen. These are tools that my music could possibly be used for. So also this shit's sick and it looks tight as a logo. So it worked out. I didn't have to think about it too hard. The logo itself changed and developed over time, but it seemed to roll off the tongue. And it's not often, I think, as a young person, you really take something and then you stick to it. So at that point in my life, I was like, okay, we're just gonna rock with this. We'll stick with it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't think I ever worked hard at, kind of come up with anything else after that either.
Yeah.
But that's how I picked it.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah. So
I dig
that's
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And now let's go ahead and dive into your writing process.
Okay, cool.
And specifically, I want to focus on when you get inspired, what are like the first things you do every time? And then subsequently, what decides that a track is finished?
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, conception can really happen at any time, My girlfriend could tell you that because I get distracted a lot because it is kind of a curse when you're like me, somebody with ADHD that's basically unmedicated, So that's been it manifests from a coping mechanism, and that tapping became rhythm, became song ideas. Now all the time I hear just like guitar and like drums in my head all the time, eking to like climb out of my body in the form of me playing it or programming it in some way. And then when I was younger, my process was different, and it was interesting because I wasn't following the script of pop music because I really kind of hated it. I hated that I grew up having to be forced to listen to like, contemporary alternative. Like it just wasn't like my vibe, and so yeah. That process kind of changed and developed because from where it was not writing music for vocals. It was more about arranging for the sake of like, trying to put riffs together, but and going against the normal arrangements that, are usually played on radio, and just kind of going more of a death metal route and like playing around with that realm because that's kind of where I started. And then as I became more developed with my singing, I started writing music to be sang over, instead of just screamed over.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times finding work, I started recording rap music and making beats and finding that I did have an affinity for music that kind of allowed me to just be free and in my own little world, like my hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yep.
Literally, I'll sit down, I'll get up to take a piss, 14 hours have gone by because I'm so zoned in to producing. So I know that I've always just had a love for it, and I could hear, I got hella voice memos of just me being like, just coming up with shit. And then, sadly, only one or two times have I gone through those voicemails and been like, that's it. But at that time, I'm just like, oh, shit, well, it would be tight. I start tapping on my fucking steering wheel and shit. So that conception can happen at any time. And then sometimes, when I'm just designing beats for people, I stumble along a lot of cool things, in that pursuit, to complete that project because I'm constantly downloading new VSTs to fuck with, and getting homeboys serum patches and just like fucking with different types of sound elements that I can use as kind of what I would consider to be a feature element of a track, and I kind of find that sound, and I a lot of times can build a riff out of that sound or a beat out of that sound and progress that riff by trying to figure out, a lot of times having the luxury of figuring out what the mood is in making that fit the direction of the mood. That can create a lot of it can lower a lot of the hurdles that one might face when they're tasked with filling a music with vocals that matter and mean something, Yeah. So deciding on those things early on, considering not just, what types of drums, but what kind of drum loops are going around with what types of melodies, and really just considering the arrangement has been my primary focus. Because I get hit with a lot of songs. People say, hey, I just actually started a little review channel because I do this on Fiverr. I review people's songs, and I give people some real, insight if I can. But yeah, I'm just hearing certain things, and I'm just trying to develop something that works and run with it without having to hang on to that too long before I lose enthusiasm for it and decide to put it down. Lately, I'm in love with the music that I've been creating, so that's cool. I'm going to be demoing some of it at a show tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
But I don't really, care if it's done or not, because I can still just go perform the idea of what I have right now, and they're going to fuck with it because it sounds good, and I'm about to go to my mastering engineer's house, make sure that it sounds good so that we're all good.
Yeah.
But it's cool because, I just kind of do the best I can with it. And then when I call something done is after it's gone through all the processes of production, and I'm able to be like, okay, I'm cool with this. And then I call in my homeboy. He takes a look at it. He does a little bit of mixing on it, and then basically sends it over to his studio where he runs a final master. And then we rock and roll and drop that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my process. I don't know. I sometimes it starts with guitar. Sometimes it's drums. Sometimes I have a vocal idea. But yeah. I don't know.
No, I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that. And I mean, you definitely strike me as the type of person who is very well thought out in their process. You seem to have a pretty knowledgeable grasp on production in general.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like I do. In my lane, of course, it's such an expansive field, with so many different things that you could focus on and become a great artist with.
True.
It's innumerable what music technology has allowed us to be capable of. I'm often, enamored by it because just being at NAMM last year, holy shit, son, the shit that they drop in is fucking crazy.
Hell
shit. And it's affordable. So we gonna have that technology in the studio. And it's gonna be lit. Because, I'm all about that neural shit. I'm all about because I like to be able to control tone and change tone and create, very changeable creative decisions, and it's nice to have the DI to fuck with the guitar.
Oh yeah.
I love submission audios, bass MIDI. I fuck with that a lot. It's great to be able to program that. The Get Good drums, fuck with the Get Good drums. Shout out Sublab, giving me that good sub sound, that solid shit. You all taking notes? Because I'm just giving you the gas right now. Because
all
for
the
real,
insider information right here.
Yeah, you want Slate's $20 a month, bro. You can even get Pro Tools $20 a month if you really wanted to. I'm rocking Logic because that's just a one-time dig for me. I don't want to be spending money like that.
I'm Ableton.
Yeah, so is my homeboy, and they swear by it. He hates me for Logic. He's like, I fucking hate
I started
Logic.
I started on Logic 8.
Dude, I started on Logic. No, that's crazy. You started on 8? That's
I started
so crazy.
on 8. I started on 8 and then upgraded to 9, and then the computer I had, it shit the bed.
Yeah.
And so I had to reformat it, and it wouldn't
10.
run the older version. And I didn't want to get 10,
way.
and so I got Ableton.
Yeah, there was a fucking death day for my songs that I created on my old first MacBook, when Logic 9 shit the bed. I was really not wanting to upgrade for so long. I was hanging on for dear life.
It was such a difference. And I mean, there was nothing wrong with 9 at the time.
Yeah.
And now, like, looking back, I'm like, I get it. Like,
totally.
I get it. Like, 10 is definitely capable. But I still like Ableton now.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. You can do a lot of different stuff with it. And I love a versatile DAW, especially one that's reliable in a live setting. So, I let them handle the Ableton shit. I'm good at what I use, and that's like, I'm super versed in Logic because I've been using it for so long. And
so do you use
Fly on it? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get away from that workflow when you're so locked into it. Yeah. I don't want to learn a new DAW right now. I'm almost like, fuck that. I don't want to do it.
Do you remember Main Stage?
Yeah, I have it, and I don't ever use it. And I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
So you should look into that.
Yeah?
That's I'm pretty sure that's don't quote me on this internet, but I think that's like what Mark Ribley uses. I know that originally
it's the playback for the live, right?
No, it's kind of a show controller.
Interesting.
But like it's a very versatile platform. It's a very wide palette of things. You really have to learn a little bit. Let me really emphasize how much you really have to learn a little bit.
Yeah, sound
to
guy.
be able to. No, it's not even a sound guy thing. This is like you're gonna have to take out some books.
All right, Peyton.
You're gonna need some kind of computer engineer.
Okay.
What?
Oh man, that's a tall order.
But you only need to set it once, and the point of it is that it's like one of those things where you can set your entire show.
Yeah.
And it just tells programs what to do and things like that.
Yeah,
so
sends the MIDI signals out and all that.
Oh, I mean, like, I think it even works within, like, programs within the computer.
Wow.
So it, like, tells things to do things. So it's something you should look into if you're using Logic to perform shows instead of porting that into Ableton for the performance aspects.
Damn. Yeah. Well, that's
so just something to keep in mind.
Think about it. Yeah. Because what are they on, 2 or 3 with that? Or
with
what?
Main Stage?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know.
I think they have Main Stage 2. So
that wouldn't surprise me at this point.
I'll have to pop that in.
I mean, look into it. It's a very capable program for what it is.
You know, Logic just came out on the iPad. That's pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, $20.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, dude, I wonder how much money they're making from that shit, because $20, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
$20, come on, that's tight.
But I mean, it is also still an iPad.
Right, yeah, but it has an M2 chip in it,
True.
You know, so that shit's gonna smack, son.
I mean, that's still...
What they need to figure out is how to get those VSTs to work in that shit, and that's gonna take extra coding that I don't think a lot of these companies are gonna pay to have.
Well, not just that, but remember, the processor isn't the only part of the thing that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm just saying, I feel like if they were going to run Logic, which is made by Apple, probably going to hit.
I mean, it does from what I've heard.
You know what I mean?
It does from what I've heard.
Damn, I want to do it because my girl got an iPad. I'm about to be like, babe.
I mean, I think it would even
Logic on your laptop.
Well, as a person who uses Logic, it almost makes more sense. No, for you, I'm saying as a person who uses Logic, it almost makes sense for you to have it because you can start a project on your iPad, and then I bet you it just transfers seamlessly over to Logic on your computer.
Yeah, call me a Sith Lord, but I'm all in with Apple shit, man. It's just super reliable and dependable. I'm with it. I like it that I'm using the Apple software with the Apple computer. You know, there are perks. They're there.
Proprietary definitely goes a long way.
The little thing on my phone where I could be like in the booth, I just press record on my phone. Boom, we're running that session and record.
Yep.
Yeah. I usually, honestly, truthfully, I just bring my keyboard because it's wireless and I'll just, I can rock it with the keyboard. That's cool.
That's exactly what I do.
Don't system overload, please. I hate system overload. The overload lords.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They're bastards. They want to keep my songs from being fully completed.
Dude, technology at its finest.
Time to upgrade. You know what they say.
Yep.
If you don't upgrade, you just get left behind.
If you just bought it, it's obsolete.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, you got about 10 years before it's going to shit the bed on you.
10 years? Not anymore.
I feel like
you're lucky to get 4.
I made it about 8 so far. So
I'm saying like before something becomes like not going to be doing as well as like what should be.
Yeah.
Like nowadays it's like you get like maybe 5.
Yeah, man. I don't know. And ever since I installed Pro Tools on my on my computer, made all that background shit that I like to run, making my Logic slow, I'm just like, shit. Yeah. I don't know. It is probably time to upgrade. That's what I think.
Oh, hey, man. I mean, I've seen people do crazy stuff with crazy stuff. So it's not what you have; it's how you use it.
Sure. I could attest to that.
Hell yeah! All right, let's dive back into this. This is definitely going to be a chatty episode, y'all.
Word.
Now, for this next one, out of your entire discography, which song would you say represents you best at the moment?
Represents me best.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think any of them do, honestly.
If you had to show somebody one song, if they were like
they do and they don't, they only can represent where I was at that time in my life when I wrote that song. So it's a snapshot of a moment in my life. And I hope that I've grown from these moments. Not like each one was based off a mistake, but I don't know. Like, it's hard to answer that question because I feel like the shit that I'm about to drop now is what speaks the most about my musical prowess or whatever I'm offering. You know, the problem is, and I don't know if this is a problem or if it's something that's actually cool, but I kind of, when I do a genre, I have a tendency to dive way into that genre. Like when I make some pop trap music, like I got pop trap music out, and I got some real rappers on that shit that go hard and they're dope and they're dropping shit too and it's lit. But I also do like straight up metal music. I made a pop punk kind of deal. It's still kind of heavy metal or whatever, but and I'm bouncing around a lot within these tracks, which is, I know it's not necessarily the norm. It's not like it's never been done before, but fuck you. I think this last shit that I made with Views, it had drill drums in it. It had like a dubstep build. It had a metal breakdown in it. It had like technical, cool kind of rapping, you know, and it had some cool screams on it. Dude, this shit was all over the place, but somehow I feel like it is a culmination of all these different genres that I vibe with, and I've kind of been able to, in more recent mixes, gotten pretty good at smashing all this shit together and coming out with something that isn't cat shit, you know? So I'm excited about it because it's a great way for me to, you know, vibe out and make experiments that are, you know, successful musically and hear how that plays out on record. So I'm excited to perform these songs tomorrow, man. They're going to smack. And then even from that performance, I'm going to even, you know, like I said, I don't really give a fuck if it's done. If it's cool enough, I'm going to smack, dude. Like, it's going to smack. And then people are going to hear it and they'll be like, hey, when you going to put that song out, bro? I'm like, it's coming, don't worry. And then it never comes. And then one day, boom, you get that song, you know? And that's kind of how I've been doing it, you know? Results may vary, but I don't know, man. I'm just like in this stage where it's developing a lot, it's changing a lot, I'm coming to my own, I'm finding my lane, and I'm really performing the way that I want to when it comes to, oh, okay, I'm gonna do a 15-minute set, or I'm gonna do a 30-minute set.
Oh, yeah.
Have I created in the arrangement of not just these works, but how I tie them all together with the various ups and downs that are gonna happen in my experience?
Yeah.
And am I tailoring to my ability to perform these things? Am I doing that? Am I, you know, so I'm really thinking about this. And then I'm also thinking about how can I fit all this shit in here, you know? And I don't know. It's been fun because I've been constantly, given the opportunity to, you know, try at these skills. That's kind of how I look at all these little shows and all these things that I be doing. It's all just an experiment. Each time I'm just trying to be a little scientist and get that shit right, you know?
Hell yeah.
And when it does, I'm just like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what it sounds like when it sounds good. Like, I just did a show in Eugene, and we were blessed with the sound engineer who I was there when they were still figuring it out and getting that shit ready, and they didn't have anything up yet, but this dude had sound, barriers all on all the walls. He told me they've been doing hardcore shows in there at the Spot in Springfield. Fuck yeah, dude. It made me sound so good. Even without in-ears, I was fucking it up there, and it sounded so good. Oh, yeah. You know, so I was really, you know, just super into that. I love a situation where things sound great and I feel good, because if I can feel good, then you're going to get the best. You're going to get what you paid for with me, you know? I'm going to be happy. If I can't hear myself and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is too loud, or like, shit, crazy, you know? It's like, you know, I won't name any specific venues, but it's just like, it's another thing to deal with that, you know?
It's hard to perform if you can't hear yourself. I mean, that's,
totally
that's a
hard.
no-brainer.
Yeah, it's totally hard.
Speaking of performances, that ties right into the next question, which was what is either your most favorite, or if you have too many, what is the wildest show you've ever performed? And if you have a story for both, you could tell both.
Dude, I went to Egypt recently, and when I was in Egypt, they had us come to this super tight area. This guy that we were staying with had access to this insane view of the pyramids, and it was a nice little place. You could smoke some hookah and stuff. And so I performed for just Egyptian people there.
Hell yeah.
And then earlier in that same day, because we were shooting video all over Egypt, something I plan again on doing in the Philippines. But I was at the Saqqara Carpet School, and you know, it's, you know, where they take a few people actually out the street and they teach them how to, you know, spin carpets and do all that. It's a very involved process. It takes a long time. We're talking about these luxury ass carpets, straight up magic fucking carpets.
Yeah.
And they were magical, you know, and the carpets I got to see how they were made and everything, and all the people that were there. And then we went into the carpet room, and holy shit, was that shit insane. The most beautiful carpets, some of which take literally 3 years to weave, and these guys are at it all fucking day. And, you know, some of the most expensive, crazy carpets all over. And, you know, may or may not have been tripping at this time. You know, but the walls were moving. Yeah, allegedly. And the walls were going crazy. And somehow I had talked them into letting me shoot there. Mm-hmm. When they're pretty private about their designs and shit like that, because they're like, you know, like people could steal our designs and this and that or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, I was able to talk to them, and they allowed me to, you know, shoot there, and I got to perform them for the staff there. And, the thing is even if it's 20 people or it's 200 people or 2,000 people, I'm going to go fucking hard and do whatever I can to make it sick, especially because my homeboy was filming it. And, it was a very interesting situation where I had gotten to shoot at the pyramids, inside the pyramids, and actually get some crazy shots. And so putting it all together was the main job there. And through that experience, I got to perform for a lot of people overseas. And I'm excited to be able to do that again. I really am, because those are the craziest shows. I just believe that after playing so many shows here in the States and then playing shows over there, there's just a different attitude towards live performers. And, just a different type of hype when you go there. There's literally a lot of fucking people at these shows. Fuckloads. It's crazy. And they're there for it, and they fucking love your shit, and it's awesome, and I want that experience because I know that I'm good for it, and I'm really just happy that I have an opportunity to do that, not to gloat or anything, but that's what's up next for me. So I'm actually, honestly, also stressing about it, getting everything ready and prepared so I can make very good use of this trip. But, yeah, anyways, but probably just perform for a few people like that. There's been some pretty cool, crazy shows. Actually, you know what? I should probably shout out Dixie because I just did a show for Ugly, and we just did that one song. But we got up on the bar top, me and Lawrence did. Mm-hmm. That shit was fucking tight, man. There was hell of people in there. And, they was fucking with it, for sure. For being like a country bar, and, it was actually the guy's idea too. The dude who owns it, Steve. He basically said that we should just go jump up there and do the damn thing. Oh, yeah. And so we did. And we planned it out a little bit. And fill the room up, but it was cool. So we premiered the video, and then did that performance, and I had a lot of fun. I signed an autograph, so that was cool. It's not, apparently this guy thought I was going places or something.
Hey, somebody has to.
Yeah, so that was nice. It was a flattering thing to be able to do that, and, love doing that. That's cool. So, so hopefully I get to sign some more. Yeah. And I feel like I would probably do that, where I'm going. So I'm excited about the journey. It's going to be crazy, but I'm mostly excited to perform. My mom went to school there, and she went to a Catholic school. And when I was 14, I did visit that Catholic school that she went to. The nuns gave us a tour of the school, and they assembled an assembly in the gym, and there was nothing but kids as far as the eye can see, all in, uniforms. And, I was, kind of emo, what I was listening to back then. We talked about that. Yep. So I'm out there, experiencing the Philippines for this first time, and they want us to talk because we're from America. She went from the Philippines to America, started a family, and now we've come back. Share about our experience or whatever. Isn't that so wonderful, class? So they talk, and then, all I said was, yo, what's up? And then they went, ah! They thought I was a rock star because, I don't know, I had Hot Topic clothing on, and I looked like a badass with my little fucking long front hair, just like, I go to Zoomies a lot, and I'm out here. But no, literally all I said was, what's up? And then they screamed, and it was like, it was crazy in there. So at 14, just that experience of being able to talk, and all I said was, what's up? And then that sparked some delusion in my young mind. Yo, I might be able to do this.
Really stoked the fire
it
for
you. It sure did. Look,
yep.
I'm telling you. And so I'm trying to go back, literally, 16 years later, and have some form of that experience yet again. So I got some goals, and that's the goal, as I want, more screaming fans and more people just appreciating these works of art that I've created. That would be great. And I'm not asking for fame. I just, like to be able to stay doing this and just only do this. So the world, I believe, will pave that way for me. And I'm going to go seize what next adventure is on the menu for me to consume, because it's about to be fucking delicious. Also, the food out there is amazing, I should mention, so I know how to cook a lot of Filipino food. I'm super into food. I like to cook it. I like to be super annoying and document it. And, I'm constantly experimenting with food the same way that I experiment with music. So I, often contrast the similarities between the two, or compare the similarities.
I guess you could really say that let him cook means more than one thing for you.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I want to get that.
2 jump jokes of the week.
I'm about to fucking get that shit on a shirt. I'm about to be like, let me cook. You know, that should be a song. Let me
No, you
cook.
need it.
Let
You
me
need
cook.
it. You need
I
it.
know you need a hook.
You need-
Because all you wrote is bars. Now I got you shook. Oh, this is happening. I'm freestyling on the mic right now. He was not prepared for this. No,
Actually, we have a whole different segment that happens at the end of
Oh, yeah, you
episodes
told me
that
about
we could do if you wanted to do that.
No, not that dude. I was just joking. I was riffing. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But I will rap on a track, like if it's sick, you know. But I'm not so much a freestyler. I don't know. I feel it, but I find so much more passion in writing it down and planning it out, and you know, creating context. I know you're gonna go into something, but the last thing I'll say about that is like I do look at a song like a movie, you know, and a music video like a movie too. But you have so much less time to tell a story if you're doing more than talking about a vibe, which a lot of DJs are going to play 45 seconds of the song anyways. But on my last song that I wrote, the one reason why I do consider it to be one of the better songs that I've wrote is because even though it's kind of a pop structure, I got a cool melody that's nice and comfortable in my range. The thing I like about it most is that, you know, the verses make sense for what the chorus is about, and I'm telling a story in the second verse, and I was able to do it with a very, you know, limited real estate of bars that you can rap. Yeah. And also attention span and memory, so being able to really fucking chisel away at this motherfucker until you got something, bing, that's good. Actually good. And I feel like I can stand back and say that about this. But who knows, in a month it's probably going to be trash to me because I'm going to be on whatever bullshit I'm on next, which is how it really goes. So that's why I couldn't really answer your question for before.
That is all right.
Yeah.
So we've got one last question to go in the artist focus realm before we move on to some hypothetical questions, which are actually a lot of fun. But this one's a pretty deep question. What is it about music that matters most? And not like what comes from music. So not like fame, not like money, not like, what is it about the creation of music that is the most important part for you? The thing that makes you keep wanting to do it day in and day out?
Well, it's embedded because I don't know if I mentioned this on camera, but yeah, it was a coping mechanism. My childhood wasn't great, dude. Shit was whack, you know? Yeah. And I had music to look to and distract me from, you know, what I was going through at that time, you know? So, but that was really what it was then. These days, it's more of just kind of a way of life for me. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's an outlet for me to express my passions and get real with myself about, you know, things that I would actually like to say about life and how I've lived it, you know, because it puts you on the record. If you're going to actually record lyrics and bars, you know, you end up having to be more conscious of them. And yeah, I got my turn up songs. I know you're going to hear me say some stupid shit. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that lately I'm able to have more fun with the storytelling element of it. And also, you know, with some songs, I do plan to bring, you know, awareness to certain causes and, you know, have more fun with the philanthropic nature of some of the, you know, root reasons why these songs are developed, because every day I'm faced with what am I going to make, you know, and it could be anything. And I find that it's easier to attach myself to certain ideas that have a motive and a reason behind them. And I'm able to ride that energy creatively to a finished product. So, you know, I get the benefit of that when I'm working with other people, which is why I've been collaborating a lot, you know, but also making music of my own has come easier to me now than it ever has been, despite some, you know, technical difficulties along the way. But, you know, I mean, I'm just really happy about that element of my songwriting. I feel like it's really coming to head, and I'm excited for my listeners to see that growth in my music too. So,
yeah.
You know, more of an identity behind it, I'd say, because being a guy who's done a little this and a little that, I'm finding a way to smash it all together into something that's consistent for me, and, you know, makes sense for my live performances, and something I feel good about singing, and something that's, you know, fun to perform. And, you know, I get to be a craftsman at that every day of my job. And, you know, work on making it just a little bit more efficient, sound just a little bit better, look a little bit better, a little bit more rehearsed, a little bit more tight, you know. I like to keep things loose because I get to do that. This is based off of feeling. My music is based off of feeling. And lately, lyrically, I've been simplifying and simplifying and simplifying, not to insult the intelligence of my listener, but just to convey more of the characteristics of the emotion that I'm trying to, you know, put on the record. And
almost
mix.
like a less is more.
Less is more a lot, but also being able to weave, you know, within what seems to be less, a more refined approach.
Yeah.
Just because, we're simplifying a fraction doesn't make it any less valuable, And I think that there's just a lot of different ways to make certain things, just certain puzzle pieces, just fucking lock in.
Yeah.
Now, I love coming back to an unfinished track, or I love starting on somebody's song that's halfway started and they want to just finish it. I'm the gap closer with my production. That's how I make my money, is I help finish projects.
Yeah.
So I find where people are needing that assistance, and I do what I think that needs to happen in order to make that thing sound great, not just when it comes to collecting the footage, but also planning production and understanding, the finality of what you're doing. Where's it going? What's it for? How are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Have you asked yourself these questions? Because your lyrical randomness tells me that probably not. And it might be fun for us to sit down and think about that and then focus in on something that not just speaks to the vibe that the music's providing, but also gives you something you can sink your teeth into. Not saying it has to be intellectual, but if I can feel something, if you are commanding the room with the vibe that you've created, that's fucking intellectual property worth owning.
Yeah.
That's my whole game. And I've been focused more on finding that and running with these experiments and getting to use those experiments, when I do play a new song or something, and just seeing, how people respond to it. Not to see if they like it or hate it, but watching the audience and seeing what mood I'm really putting them in, because it's all about, foreshadowing for future events. If I can make you feel sad and then make you feel amazed the second song right after that in the set, I think there's value to that. And, I look at all of my songs as scenes in a movie. And depending on the length of the film, if my set's 15 minutes, it'll be one way. If it's for a certain crowd, it'll be one way. But that's the benefit of having hip-hop songs, dubstep songs, EDM song, whatever the fuck, dude. I got it all. And I have it sitting in the bag waiting for a reason, and that's cool to know, because I'm at a comfortable process with the people that I'm working on. I've been very fortunate enough to have people that, kind of know what they're doing. And so it helps me kind of step back and focus in on what I'm doing just a little bit more detailed. And yeah, it's been cool to just find my process with that and really just kind of stay doing that and finding some peace with that. So I'm chilling right now. I'm happy. I worked all day. I felt like I procrastinate, but I did stuff that I like. So it's a blessing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Now we're going to move into some hypothetical questions.
Okay.
And these ones are definitely a lot of fun. If you could work, and this one, we'll expand this question a little bit because you do so many things, and we're going to make it a 2-part question.
Okay.
So for this question, it's usually if you could work with any one artist who's currently alive, who would it be? But for you, I actually want to spice it up. And if you could work with any one artist as like a feature or like a collaboration musically, and as a producer, if there was an artist that you could work with to produce for, and they don't have to be the same person.
Oh, but, word.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
cool, yeah.
First as a musician.
As an artist and then as a producer?
Yeah, as an artist, who would you collaborate with?
If I was can I answer the producer one first?
Sure. But again, they have to be alive.
Okay, yeah. All right. Post Malone for production. And that's not really because I listen to his music. I don't, but I'm often so much compared to this guy a lot. And like, what the fuck is the deal? I think it'd probably be a good idea, Honestly, what I do know about him is that he's morphed his style a lot, so I can relate to him in this way. Being a guy who's done a lot of different types of music, to figure out, how to, do what he does currently. He seems like a man who's very comfortable with what he's done, not just from the success, but like, his music now is different. So I hear, and from what I've seen, the parts, I like that song. It's like, na, congratulations.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I got some songs, people sometimes say I sound like him. They say I sound like Machine Gun Kelly. So for the sheer sake that we get compared, at least that's what people tell me. Arguable. Again, I haven't heard much of his stuff, but for the one quality I described, I feel like that would be cool. But if I was actually trying to have a lot of fun, I want to just hang out with Thundercat for like the whole day.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Yeah. I feel like, both answers are valid, but for different reasons. But As a producer, as an artist, you were saying, what was the question with as being an artist?
Same thing. Like if it, as a musician, if you could like collaborate on a song with anyone artist.
Can I build my band right now in the studio?
It's got to be. Oh, you want to do a whole band?
What, like specific people?
You know
I'd be like Thundercat on bass. I'd be like Chad from Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what's that dude? You know that Knower guy? He's yeah. What's that dude with the little keyboard?
Oh my god.
He has the Filipino girlfriend, and they're like Knower. It's spelled called Knower, right?
Yeah.
That fucking dude on production, and then me, and then that would be a fun time, you know. And I keep Chad on the drums with the Chili Peppers because he'll smack them for me, you know. I feel like, yeah, that would be an LA, or at least a California type thing that could go off. So I just made that in my head just now, like what would I want to do, you know? I could build different little bands in my head, and I'm thinking like that episode of Wu-Tang Clan where he was like producing shit. It's in the second season. I don't know if you watched that shit, but they had this episode where he was literally I think it was like RZA or the Jizz or something. Well, these dudes, they were producing the shit, and then, you know, in his head was what you were seeing, which was like different drummers popping up as he puts them on the record spinners, and like, you know, he'd be playing with this guy and this guy. And it was just a really cool personification of what happens when you mix these, you know, different tracks and looping back then when, you know, they were doing that. And so that was cool. I suggest to, if you never watched that show, watch that shit because it's fucking tight for that reason. It was cool. Yeah. But that's kind of my artistic process too. You know, I obviously things are a lot easier with Logic and production. I literally can create any sort of little EDM music scene or drum scene or whatever and just start putting them together, you know. And that's pretty crazy. I think that's crazy, especially compared to how people used to do it. You know?
God. Yeah. You know? Back in the day. No.
I'd be just cutting tape all the time.
Yep.
You know?
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Huh. Okay. Who? Dude, okay. I'll just say this. I seen her around and stuff. We've dapped up, but Win is pretty tight. I like her videos that she posts on Instagram.
Okay.
They're pretty fucking tight, you know? So, yeah, her and her videographer is sick. They're sick. That's all I got to say. Out of Portland, that's just fucking tight. I love that. I like the visuals a lot. I felt like I'd known about her for a long time, but watching those visuals really got me to understand who she is as an artist. So that's cool. I'd like to work with somebody who is sure of themselves in this way.
Hell yeah.
You know. So
well, hey, if anybody knows her, make it happen. Put it in the comments. Let's do this.
Cool. Yeah. I do a little bit different shit, but we can still make a buck.
Hey, I mean,
I'm sure
you do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
And now, actually, that leads into the kind of the last hypothetical question here. Excuse me. If you had to pick a completely different genre than any other genre you've done already, and you've got quite the laundry list. So if you had to pick a completely different one than any other one you performed before,
what?
And it can't be country.
Can't be country. Yeah, that's the one genre that I kind of have more of an appreciation for since I've been in Texas. But to answer your question, I'd have to think long and hard, man, about what I haven't done, because I started in my basement, like I said, and I was doing shit on the internet for people all over the world through like Fiverr and stuff. So I was doing like Indian music, Nepalian music, like, you know, Somalian music, bro. There is a lot that I haven't like I've done recorded German rap, French rap, bro, African rap. Like literally, I can't think of a thing that I haven't done, my guy.
Fair.
There's nothing new under the sun. There's only so many fucking notes. I've been producing for almost 20 years, dude. Like, I've been doing music for almost, for about 20 years, and I've been producing for maybe more like 15. But like, fuck, dude. I don't know. There's always new shit that's coming out. I like that hyperpop shit. I've been making stuff out of that. Some of the super sick sound design that happens in dubstep music, I'd love to dive into that sound design world, or even work with more DJs that do that type of stuff. Like, what's that one dude? Excision, he's tight. Sudden Death, fuck with them. Mm-hmm. Any type of shit like that, I would totally do metal remixes with them. Like, that too. That part louder than the first one, for real, because that's totally some shit that could go the fuck off. Dude, I love screaming on dubstep lately. That's been cool. And not that I haven't made some of it myself, but to the degree that these dudes are creating these sounds, pretty fucking cool, dude. Yeah. There's this dude, Moonboy. He's got some cool Serum packs out. And I'd be watching his page sometimes, dude. There's some fucking slappy slaps on that bitch.
Yeah.
And I love nothing more than to throw that shit within some metal and do like the metal step. But I feel like my approach, you know, using hip hop as a medium between, and sometimes even using EDM as a medium between the hip hop and the pop, or the R&B and the metal, or the rock and the R&B, or whatever two devices I'm, you know, throwing in the pot. But you know, I guess I don't know if that answers your question, but that's my creative process. I just mix it all in like food, you know?
No, totally.
Be conscious of the cultures that I'm mixing, and I tend to come up with stuff that's not that corny. So
love that. All right, it's time to wrap it up.
Okay.
And why don't you go ahead and tell us what's coming up in the future, say like mid-October onwards.
Mid-October onwards, well, shoot, I got a concert tomorrow at the Weston Amphitheater. And then I just have some songs coming out. I'm going to be kind of hunkering down. It's possible I'll pop up for some shows. I do know that, you know, I'll probably be showing up as a guest for some of KG King's music. He's performing a lot of stuff that I'm on right now. Views is also performing a lot of stuff that I'm on right now. Of course, Lawrence, you know, we got Ugly, and we've been rocking that a lot too. His band's got that one on lock too. So yeah, you know, pay attention for those artists, and if you want to see me, you know, slide out, then you know I'll be doing that. But I think the last full band performance that I'll be doing before my show, or before I leave for pretty much all of winter, you know, is going to be tomorrow. So yeah, you know, get it while it's hot. Go look at Views, go look at KG King, you know, and Lord Lawrence. We got some new music out, so, and coming out too. So yeah, that's what I got going on right now.
Oh yeah. And then for this next one, go ahead and look at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you, the ats and plugs and things like that.
Yeah, just look at Echo the Savage. I have a new review channel that I'm doing. If you'd indulge me, I just started it. So we just went video. So starting with episode 10, I think 11's up there too. Go ahead and check that out. It's called Filler First Impression Live Reaction. So that's my whole thing that I'm doing right now. And that's how you find me right now. So check that out.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Yeah, no. Sorry. I don't think so. Not today. Yeah. Maybe next time. But I will say that we do have that show tomorrow. So pull up if you can. It's going to be at the Weston Amphitheater. I'm on at 7:30.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, the final question. What is your guilty pleasure song?
Dude, every time I go through a bad breakup, I listen to this record by Acceptance called Phantoms, I think it's called. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some emo music, man.
Make all the feels.
And sometimes I'm feeling like I want to listen to this like Cash Kid and just get real thug with it, you know?
I feel
and sometimes I'll just put on some Die Hard is Murder and go fucking balls to the walls, you know? I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know, I'll put on some dubstep or some crazy shit. It's usually some crazy shit, you know?
I feel that.
I try not to listen to the radio too much these days.
I haven't turned on a radio
But I
in
do.
years.
I did for a second before I changed it to my Bluetooth.
Fair.
And it was like that. Was that, bitch, I said what I said. I mean, you know, not a bad song, whatever. Nice to hear an original beat. You see a lot of people remixing like all the 90s songs again. It's getting recycled. I actually am here for it. I fuck with it. It's a fun little project as a producer. Anytime anybody says, hey, can we do a remix of this one thing? Yeah, I remixed like a Chili Pepper song to a trap beat recently.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to do it, right?
Californication, yeah, on some LA shit. I put some fucking Oakland trap shit behind it.
I could dig that.
Fire, you know?
I know how to play that on bass.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. That's a good song. Boo-doo-doo-doo. We all know it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get up and out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Echo the Savage.
And we're signing off later, y'all.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.